Okay, let's take a look at a couple of these evaluating step function problems and see if we can understand what they want us to do. First thing they're doing, they're just asking us, when they ask f of something, they're saying, what's the height of the function when this thing in the parentheses is the x value? And so when they're saying 4.99, what they want you to recognize is it should be just slightly less than 5. So 5 is right here. Do it in blue. And we could see right at 5, actually, there's a hole here. So that means it's not actually defined at 5 on this part of the function. And there's a hole here. So since there's a hole on both sides, it's not defined at 5 at all. So I'm going to go ahead and just say, well, I know that at 5, it's undefined. But right before 5, if I went to 4.99, it'd be just to the left. Well, we could see at that point, it is defined right here on this line, which is a height of -5. So that's -5. And then right after 5, at 5.001, we go just to the right of 5. We can see it would hit this line. I want you to imagine that there's like a vertical line at 4.99 and at, I mean, I can't really draw it to be right on top of each other, but one at 4.999, one at 5, one at 5.001. And I wanted you to tell me, like, where would that vertical line hit our graph? Well, at 4.99, it would definitely hit at -5. At 5, it wouldn't hit at all because it would go right through these circles. Then at 5.001, it hit up here with a height of 7. Okay, then what about 9? 9's over here. If I was going to draw my vertical line, let's do a different color. Let's do red. This one does hit the graph because that is a solid. If it's solid, that means that it's included. Okay, so this one does hit the graph at 7, so that would mean this one has a height of 7. All right, let's do one more just to make sure we get it. Here's another problem. They're giving us several values here. Let's start off with -9. Here's my vertical line, and clearly I hit the solid dot right there. That's a height of -7. Boom, we're good. What about -0.0001? Well, that means just to the left of 0, just a little bit less than 0. So we're saying, and then we're going to be at 0, and they're going to be at 0.1. So let's do this. Let's just put the blue line for all of these right at 0. And let's just like sketch what that would look like. Well, that would be like right here, right at 0, right? That's right at the y-axis. And so we could tell quite a few things. If I wanted to go just to the left of 0, right? Just to the left of 0, I would be hitting this line here. Not here, because this dot signifies that it stops at 0, does not go any farther to the left of 0. I would definitely be hitting this line, though, for sure. Just to the left of 0, I'd be hitting this line at -7. So that's a -7. But what about at 0? Well, at 0, I'm no longer at -7 because we have an open circle. So I cannot hit it here. But here I have a solid, so I do hit it here. That's -3. And then past that, or more to the right of that, I do hit it as well, right? Because I have the solid line. This means that all these values are defined from 0 to 3 here along this line. So that's still -3. So when they give you these decimals, they're really just saying, hey, a little bit to the left of, you know, whatever it's close to, or a little bit to the right, what would happen? And we can tell. To the left, I'm here. To the right, I'm here. And right at 0, I'm on that solid dot. Let me just throw another curveball at you. What if they said f of +9? Okay, so I'm drawing my black line here. Here's where x is +9. Well, I have an open circle. That means I don't touch it. And there's no other point on this graph where there's a line or a dot or anything like that. So this would be undefined because it doesn't exist there. Same thing for like f of 10. There's literally nothing going on 10 here, right? We can tell that just by looking at it, right? All here on 10, there's just nothing. And so that would also be undefined. You could also write undefined like this. That's fine too. There we go. All right, there's a couple examples. Hopefully that helps.